On this day in 1968, Steve Chalmers and Bobby Lennox scored 5 goals apiece as Celtic beat Hamilton 10-0. The League Cup was Celtic's personal property in the late 1960s, winning every tournament from 1965 to 69, with the last 2 triumphs both coming in the calendar year of 1969. The match against Hamilton on the 11th of September 1968 was the first leg of the quarter-finals, and they were expected to make short work of Hamilton, who finished that season in 15th place in the 19-team second division. The Glasgow Herald wrote on the morning of the match, "It goes without saying that Celtic will have enough in hand after their home match with Hamilton Academicals to make the return at Douglas Park on the September the 25th little more than a formality." That turned out to be a massive understatement. Celtic rested Willie O'Neill, George Connolly, Willie Wallace and Bobby Murdoch with a league match against Rangers coming up on the Saturday, but gave a first ever top team start to Lou Macari. They lined up Simpson, Craig, Gemmell, Brogan, McNeil, Clark, Macari, Lennox, McBride, Chalmers, Hughes, substitute Johnston. With 25 minutes gone, the fans were becoming restless with the match still goalless, and John Hughes had swapped flanks with Lou Macari. But Chalmers and Lennox each scored twice in the next 20 minutes to make it 4-0 by half-time. The second half opened in much the same way as the first half had, but with 23 minutes left, Jimmy Johnston came on for John Hughes, who had earlier hit the bar with a fierce drive, and the floodgates opened again. The Glasgow Herald's special correspondent wrote on the 12th of September, "Midway in the second half, off went Hughes, who apart from 2 great drives had an undistinguished game at outside right, and on came Johnston, who immediately had the spectators in ecstasy as he darted in and out of Hamilton's bewildered defence and laid on chance after chance for the grateful Chalmers and Lennox." Chalmers added 2 more to make it 6-0 with 15 minutes remaining, and in the last 10 minutes, 4 more goals were piled on, with 3 more for Lennox as they hit double figures, 5 apiece for Chalmers and Lennox. Hamilton never really stood a chance against Chalmers and Lennox, who by the ends of their careers would be Celtic's second and third top scorers of all time, with 304 for Lennox and 228 for Chalmers. The 6 players who appeared in the forward line that night, Macari, Lennox, McBride, Chalmers, Hughes and substitute Johnston, scored an incredible 993 competitive goals for Celtic between them. The centre forward that night, Joe McBride, was the most unfortunate of the 5. He had been like a threshing machine for 18 months after his signing from Motherwell in 1965, but had been struck down with a serious knee injury in December 1966, which kept him out for a whole year. Despite this, with 36 goals before Christmas, he still finished season 1966-67 as Scotland's top scorer. Struggling to regain his place, McBride would be sold to Hibernian 2 months later, having scored 86 goals in just 94 games. Jock Stein would later tell him he'd been sold too soon. But the night of the 11th of September 1968 belonged to Chalmers and Lennox, 2 great Celts.